All right, welcome back. For those that have been with us through that break, if you're just joining us, welcome on board this 18th day of October 2024. It's a Friday, and I hope you are in the vibe for the weekend, as again we bring you the discussions that do matter. I have with me our usual suspect, the man who is so dependable when it comes to insight and perspective on the arts, music, and everything within that industry. He will be speaking to us very shortly about something that you need to pay attention to: animation. Stop motion animation has been attracting a growing number of enthusiasts for about the last 10 years, and though it seems the majority of these people must, out of necessity, be disappointed, many of them have an interest that extends beyond curiosity into a hope for professional careers. Through the use of fictional characters and settings, animators create a sanctuary for exploring sensitive and controversial themes without triggering traumatic memories or defensive reactions. At the same time, animation can also create a sense of connection. Viewers still empathize with the struggles and triumphs of animated characters. By bridging the gap between reality and fantasy, animation can offer a medium for sharing your message that feels accessible, safe, and clear for viewers. Interesting there. That is essentially all about cartoons and everything that comes in that shape. Now imagine watching a cartoon series or a cartoon movie, and you get so attached with the characters that are being played out that you actually begin to empathize. Now that is deep, but how deep can it or must it get? Andrew Kaggwa is a man who ensures that he understands these things. First and foremost, many of us, especially if you're older like me, we tend to view cartoons as a little bit of wayward for the older persons, and if anybody found a big man seated and laughing away at animated content, there's going to be a little bit of shock, like, hey, what is going on? But I think it's okay to watch animated content, isn't it? It's actually just a perception that that they are for children, because there is animated content that's tailored for adults, and it's communicating to adults. Yeah, like it's a perception, and I can't even tell where this came from, but we grew into it. For some reason, we grew into it. Though the more we've been like exposing ourselves as we've been growing, I've also noticed there is a lot of material that's animated, and it's strictly tailored for older people. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. In fact, when you look at like, have you seen the content that they usually use when they are talking about health? That's to be specific with Uganda. Yeah. Say immunization, when they're talking about paying taxes, like most of that content is usually animated. And trust me, I do not really think anyone in that government sits there and they're like, let's talk to children about taxation. Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's about, now that's a new one. Why they choose to do that is to capture attention, because animated content does capture attention more than the real mainstream content. For some reason, it does grab attention. Like you will look at it and you will think about it. So that is what defines the success of Katoto. Yes. Like I do not even think we do have a cartoon character that's as famous as Katoto. And funny thing is, when you think about it, Katoto has been with us for more than 10 years. Yeah. Because I think the very first time I saw Katoto was around 2013. And even right now, when you talk about Katoto, it still strikes a chord. Okay. Very Ugandan, I think unapologetically Ugandan at that. And the message he used to push, okay, I say used because I don't remember if I've seen a Katoto episode in the last new, like in the last few years. So, like, we connected to the cartoon, and he's literally still with us. The character is still with us. The moment you say it, like, people will somehow
connect with
connect very quickly with it. Now, there seems to be a disconnect, especially when you try to put the realities together of this enormous, not enormous, but immense success of Katoto, and the fact that no one else has been able to think of either replicating that or building onto the kind of success story that it is in order to shape the industry going forward. Because I don't see the cartoon industry in Uganda, away from the public health awareness campaign messages that are put by the Ministry of Health, that's where it ends. Shouldn't it be breaking new ground so that the amount of money, for example, that Hollywood puts into animation can also maybe in a way trickle down to this part of the world? One,
Katoto is 2D animation. I think someone did another animation that kind of got us talking. It was a short film, Kalavanda Ate My Work. Kalavanda Ate My Work was 3D animation. Katoto is 2D. The reason why we are not seeing a lot of animation, I think, in Uganda, my experience with talking to different animators is animation is very expensive.
Very expensive.
And I got a chance to visit the Katoto studios, and one of the things I saw about 2D animation is that when you watch it, and you're seeing that man move, that man was drawn frame by frame. As in, when he moves his hand was drawn from all these angles, from all those directions.
Wait a minute. That's a whole piece of work.
Yes. You could do a scene of a minute in a week. So, yeah, it's very expensive. It's very, it takes a lot of time. The equipment is expensive. So I'm thinking most people are not that equipped, one, with the skills, because I mean, even when you look at most of animators, apart from now that some have gone back and studied, most of them have been self-taught. Like they were doing things, but they were still learning as they were doing things. So, and then the whole thing of getting the equipment, because I think I was told that okay, I don't know the actual name they use, but that thing they use when they're drawing is about 16 million. And so, and chances are the people that are interested in animation are young people.
Young people, they don't have the aggregate spending.
Yes, they don't have that money to buy such equipment. So, so that's why you're not seeing a lot of it. And of course, even in Hollywood, where we see almost movies come out every year, they do come out, but the manpower they put on that, like when a film is ending, an animation film, and you wait the part where they have where the credits are displayed, animators, like you will look at that team and it will always be a very huge team, no doubt.
The average movie, it takes sometimes even 200 people to put together, so that means the animation could be a little more than that.
And you see, there are stages to it. Like there is starting the sketch, and then there is the coloring, there is the cleaning. So for bigger productions, probably you have different people that are handling these different stages.
That's right.
For a smaller production, which could be a Ugandan production, it's usually one person or a few people that are doing all that. So when I tell you that they could not shoot is with a camera. They could do a scene
all right,
in a week. That's how
really hectic it is. But of course, what I do understand or gather from your explanation and deep dive into it is that there's a lot of potential And yeah, a lot of potential in this industry, and the fact that government has consistently been doing these public drives and campaign messages, it's something or a conversation that ought to be reignited, and then that context allowed to be captured by the technocrats so that monies can be redirected into it with the hope that it's what is going to cause the,
Yes, I don't really think technocrats think about things the way we think about them. One, they are not even thinking about art in the general sense of art. Yeah. When I just talk about art altogether, where you're mixing animation, visual art, dance.
That's not how they think about it.
Like they don't really think about them that much. That even the conversation right now that's happening is mainly about copyright, and even the people that are talking about it from their side
do not have all the
necessary information, and they don't really seem to understand what they're talking about. So I think when it comes to conversations like animation, it has to come from within, one from either the people that are interested and already practicing, and with the knowledge I understand Katoto is doing something, but it's more around training and retooling younger animators that are coming
there he up. Is the legend.
Yeah, there he is.
Can we have a little bit of sound, producer, so we can get to have the feel of that? Maybe it should offer us some bit of perspective in especially the impact, but that is the whole idea.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to, there's the aspect of age-appropriate content and how it's rolled out. We shall be digging into that a little bit later. We are hamstrung right now because we were expecting to speak to Mr. Richard Musinguzi, a motion animator.
Yes.
He would pretty much unpack.
He's actually the brains behind Katoto.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
He should be unpacking these things for us so that we can have a remarkably good view of exactly how it is.
He told of how he had been, I think, in cinema or somewhere watching a film, and when he came out, the character he drew is what became Katoto.
Is what became Katoto.
Yeah.
The message is very clear. The first and foremost, the impact is enormous. The voice alone is representative of what all of us know, and then the messaging is really up to the mark. I think it's something that can be used to drive greater messages away from the politics to the economy, so that it can spur growth and productivity, especially among the youth who are more enthusiastic to such content and how it is produced.
And of course, when you think about it, when it comes to the creative industry, it's an industry that cannot stop taking.
Yeah.
And it's an industry people can never have enough of. Like, we can never wake up and we think
we don't want music.
And we think people produce enough music, they should stop producing. Like, people are producing music, and probably you have a neighbor producing music, probably your maid has a song like you've never heard of. So, and it's the same with content. So, so like, when it comes to one training younger people, there are chances that they will also create their own emotions and their own expressions, their own characters, and trust me, the world will be willing to listen to them. And the beauty is when it comes to the corporate side and government side of it, they've started understanding the effectiveness of animation when it comes to communicating.
I think they've not just begun understanding, they've appreciated this for a long time. What I want to understand or get to is how best we can re-engineer. Because right from primary school, animation was with us. These charts that were made, only that was not motion, it was still, and I think to recondition it so that the pupils and the learners out there interface more with video and better quality animation would go a long way in improving learning processes, but also is the work of the teachers, for example, in the instruction of these learners. It stands as a catalyst for the education sector. It's already been used, but I think it's been used as a default setting and not necessarily something to take us to the next level. Do you think that paradigm shift can happen now?
Who is paying?
All right.
No, but I think it's a shift that can happen, but like I said earlier,
the resources.
It is very, very expensive. It is very expensive, yet we actually need it, to change the narrative, even when it just comes to the whole thing we keep talking about, decolonizing.
Yeah.
Because you see, I think many of us grew up on cartoons that were made from the West. And trust me, it's not, like, no one tells you that you should let a child watch cartoons because they will love it, but for some reason, the moment a child sees cartoons, they love them.
Because they are designed in every aspect to attract them.
And we pick a lot from them. Some pick their speech, counting from there. Like I believe it's high time we got something ours. Not even just as Uganda, probably as
Africa.
As Africa, it's time we got our own characters.
Our own characters and depicting the stories that we know.
Yeah, but
maybe the stories are not powerful enough to spark critical thought.
The stories are powerful enough. The stories are powerful enough, but like I said, who is paying?
Who is paying?
Yeah.
That's important.
That's important.
Because being projects that require a lot of money in terms of equipment and skill set,
yes, somebody's
going to have to, dig into their pocket, and it has to be really deep. And that is not your average Chris again. All right, as we inch closer to the end of this discussion, I would like to look at it from the global perspective, especially when it comes to public broadcasters who will be gathering this year at the Cartoon Forum, which has been on until the 19th in Toulouse in France. This is about entrenching a culture that has been on. European animation industry itself is facing a market crunch that has been apparently linked to substantially reduced streaming investment as producers now grapple with tough headwinds and reduced opportunities. Where should they be looking at right now?
Who? Them or Ugandans?
Everybody. Because where they look pretty much matters where our local animators will be doing. Do that very quickly, and then we can be able to get the whole picture.
You know, France at the moment, I think, has one of the leading schools of animation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that that's taking place in France.
In France, yeah.
At the moment, everyone is trying to understand how to make money. Especially people that are working in the film industry. Everyone is trying to understand how to make money when streaming is happening, because streaming is ridiculously free for the consumer. You pay very little and you watch a lot.
Yeah.
And the film industry is used to making its money when Chris pays a ticket, Andrew pays a ticket to watch a particular film, not paying one fee to watch hundreds of films. So everyone is trying to understand how to walk around it. Though I'm thinking for the future of animation, there needs to be a lot of content tailored for specific people. We need more content tailored for Africans. Like I think that 3D animation, was it? The one where animals escape from a zoo, and I can't remember, but like we need more of that, tailored for specific people.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew Kaggwa, for the perspective. We, of course, hope that one day we shall be able to speak to Mr. Richard Musinguzi, the animator himself behind the famous and the legendary Katoto piece. That will do it for this conversation, but do stay with us. The Kickstarter is coming up and raising awareness about the right to complain. Did you know that it is your right to complain? I'll be back.